Our coverage of the Jane Bashara murder case continues now. Today, Joe Gentz pleaded guilty, but not before saying under oath that Jane's husband, Bob Bashara, paid him to kill her and even threatened his life. So joining us now is 7 Action News legal analyst Tom Cranmer. Tom, good afternoon.
Linda, good afternoon. Good to see you.
So this is something I feel like Joe Gentz has been saying from the start. I mean, from the time he walked into Grosse Pointe Park Police of his own volition.
Well, that's exactly right. But the interesting thing, I think, today, Glenda, is the fact that he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. Actually, the facts would suggest that he was actually guilty of first-degree murder. But if that were to happen, he would have been sentenced to life imprisonment. But it appears that they cut a deal. He was allowed to plead to second-degree murder, so that begs the question, what comes next?
And what comes next for Bob Bashara, because he doesn't have any connection to his wife's murder right now.
Well, that's right. At least he hasn't been charged formally yet, and I guess that's the question everybody has on their mind. Is he going to be charged? And I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. But I think what suggests to me is that they're at least talking to Joe Gentz about being a witness, but they must have some concerns about his credibility. Otherwise, you would think that they would have charged Bob Bashara by now if they thought they had a case.
Sure. So are they looking into that, do you think? Does that second-degree conviction suggest that they're looking into Bob?
Well, I think it does. I mean, it certainly at least indirectly signals that, again, they've reached an agreement with Joe Gentz that presumably he's going to testify. Otherwise, I think they would have charged him with first-degree murder. But the question is, when and are they going to be able to have enough evidence to make them comfortable in terms of actually bringing a case against Bob Bashara?
So we heard his tearful apology today, even to Mr. Gentz. What is next for Bob Bashara?
Well, I think it's a waiting game, really. And he's been waiting for a long period of time now. Of course, he pled guilty to commission of the offense to actually attempt to kill Joe Gentz. And I suppose from his perspective, the question is, do they have enough evidence to actually charge me with the murder of my wife? And we'll have to see.
Wow. And so Joe Gentz, you know, we saw the judge asking him, did he understand, you know, all the charges? How is he doing in all of this in terms of his mental stability? Do we know?
Well, I don't know that we do, but certainly there was a suggestion or a hint earlier on that his education level and his IQ perhaps is not at the top of the level, so to speak. And he spoke a bit haltingly today, and he was obviously reading from some script or printed words, if you would, in order to enter the plea.
So Bob is in prison for, is it 80 years? There's a certain term there.
There is a term of years that he's in prison right now, again, but that's just related to the charge of attempting to hire a hitman to actually kill Joe Gentz. The real question, again, is there going to be something else? Is there going to be this charge of first-degree murder that relates to his wife, which, again, is exactly what, as you said, Joe Gentz has been saying from day one.
Yeah, really, and heartbreaking for the family, I mean, all around, on both sides.
No question about it. This is a very difficult situation. I think you could see that play out in terms of Bashara's plea that was entered a while ago, and then Joe Gentz's plea today.
All right, Tom, thank you so much for being with us, as always.
Linda, good to see you.
Okay, you as well. Joanne?
Thanks to both of you.